Hey, what's going on everyone? MONADO Max here, and today we are back with another video. This video is another video where I'm kind of talking crap about Nintendo, or not necessarily talking crap, but a lot of curiosity, I guess is the word. I think the Switch is ending. If it's not ending this year, it's definitely ending next year. And the reason why I say that is, well, let's look at our second half. You want to know what's coming out the second half? Pikmin 4, and that is all that we know. Pikmin 4 is almost less than a month away, and we don't know if there's games coming out August. We don't even know Nintendo's big holiday title. We just had the Summer Games Fest. Nintendo was not present there. Nintendo had their little Twitter Direct where they showed the new footage of Pikmin 4 with the announcement of Switch 1, 2 together, whatever it is, the thing with the little horse in the middle. I don't know why that game exists. We don't even know what that game looks like. Nintendo has no belief in that game at all. Apparently the leaks, when it got leaked a year ago, Nintendo hates the game. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that game is. That might be the worst Nintendo Switch game of all time. Anyways, I want to talk to you about the second half of Nintendo, what I think is actually coming to the Switch, what this means for the future of the Switch. Just in general, talk about everything that's going on with the Switch. So obviously, let's talk about the year that we've had for the Nintendo Switch. We had games such as Kirby and the Forgotten Land. No, it's not Forgotten Land. Kirby Return to Dreamland, Advance Wars. We had Fire Emblem Engage. I'm trying to think if we had anything in February. We had the Bayonetta spin-off game, and that's pretty much it. Metroid Prime too. Metroid Prime. Can't forget Metroid Prime. We've had a lot of remasters/remakes this year when it comes to the Switch. We're going to be talking about Metroid Prime, Advance Wars. I mean, those are the two Switch games that come to mind that have been some of Nintendo's biggest releases this year. And we are probably getting more re-releases this year because, you know, they like to port those Wii U games over to the Switch. There's a few left that has not been ported to the Switch. A lot of people think Xenoblade Chronicles X is the next Wii U game to be coming to Switch. I don't think it's coming to the Switch, but we'll see. And obviously people are expecting the rest of the Metroid Prime games to some point be coming to the Switch. Now, with the second half of being we don't know what's coming out, I strongly feel that it's going to be a lot of games that are just going to be coming out in a few weeks' time, few months' time, with zero promotion. And when Nintendo does zero promotion on games, it's typically a remaster/remake, rather than new games, unless you're Pikmin 4 that gets zero promotion. Typically Nintendo's promotion doesn't really do much for their HD re-releases. So I feel like strongly what's left of the year, I think we're going to see the heavily rumored F-Zero remaster come to the Switch. We'll probably get another Metroid Prime game to the Switch. I know some people are speculating Metroid Prime 4 is coming to the Switch this year. I don't think so. And I mean, obviously we had Nintendo's big release of the year, which was Tears of the Kingdom, which, you know, I guess with that being released in the middle of the year, I don't think they're going to call that their holiday title, because it came out in May, so I don't think they're going to, I mean, they could promote it as a holiday title, because they can, yeah, that might be their holiday title if they truly have nothing coming to the Switch, which at this rate, looking at Nintendo's history, especially, I want to go back to the Wii U days. We saw a similar pattern where there was not as much game announcements with the Wii U, and the Switch is kind of at its point right now where there's no announcements. We don't know what's happening. We know there's not a Nintendo Direct happening this month. I mean, at least it looks that way with the whole Twitter Direct that happened about a week ago. There's a lot of confusion. Lots of confusion. I personally think this means we are ending the Switch lifecycle. I think we're done with getting original games. At least when we get our original game, it's not going to be happening as much. I brought up what's come out this year because it's been a lot of ports, remasters. We had a few originals like Fire Emblem Engage, Bayonetta, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but I think we're pretty much done with original games this year after Pikmin 4. I think it's going to be a bunch of remasters, that type of stuff. A lot of GameCube stuff. I think we're going to see GameCube and Wii U re-releases come to the Switch, HD, deluxe versions basically. And if this is the case, then the Switch is definitely ending within a year, because we're definitely not getting a new Nintendo home console this year. We got to go back to those comments that was made back last meeting, the financial meeting of Nintendo. I think we did a dedicated video. Coleman might throw the thumbnail. Apparently there was comments being thrown in the meeting that Nintendo is working on the next console already, and it is coming out, I think, next year. Is that? I don't remember the comments, but that wasn't directly said at the meeting. That was told by sources. Like, it was like inside information outside of the meeting. That Nintendo supposedly, we're gonna say supposedly because we don't know, but supposedly Nintendo was telling some of the investors and all that outside of the meeting that the next Nintendo console is coming soon, that type of stuff. I don't remember the exact quote off the top of my head. I know we talk about it in that video of what was actually said in the business meeting. So we're going to talk about games that we already know have been announced for the Switch but have no release date, that type of stuff. And then there's going to be one title that I'm putting as a question mark because it seems like there's a possibility, there's no official announcement of this, but a possibility of this game happening for the Switch, if not the next Nintendo console. Obviously we have Metroid Prime 4 that was announced for the Switch back in 2017, then the development got canceled and restarted. That is probably going to be a hybrid release. I'm willing to bet a lot of money that's coming to the Switch and the next Nintendo console. Day 1 launch title for the next Nintendo console, along with the next Mario game. We obviously have Pikmin 4. That is literally next month though, so we know that game's coming. We don't really have much to really add into that. And then I'm putting this because Nintendo a few years ago, I believe, I might be wrong on this, hopefully I'm not wrong on this, I believe Nintendo bought the Astral Chain IP from Platinum Games a few years ago. And there's been heavy speculation since of how early they bought it, because the Astral Chain came out 2019, I think? It's either 2018 or 2019. It was a new Nintendo, well at the time it was actually a Platinum Games IP, then Nintendo bought the IP. Nintendo was clearly interested in it. Nintendo's definitely making another Astral Chain game for them to actually buy the IP like that. So it's possible we're getting Astral Chain 2 on the Switch, and that might be something that's actually coming this year. It's 2023, the Astral Chain, I think, came out 2019, I think. So we're definitely getting one of those games soon, probably on the Switch. If not, it's going to be very early into the next Nintendo console. And that's all that we know about what's happening with the Switch, in terms of games that are announced, coming soon, that type of stuff. And obviously the Switch has been going strong for 6 years. This is the 6th year of the Nintendo Switch. The system, a lot of developers are complaining about it, you know, people themselves are complaining about it. I feel like Nintendo's games alone do not run as great as they used to when the Switch first came out. The power of this thing has been used to the limits. I mean, one of the games that I'm very surprised that doesn't, it runs good, but there are some things in the background that look horrible, which is Splatoon 3. I was very surprised to see that that game did how it did, because I was incredibly annoyed by the background. The characters were like 2 frames per second in the background where you weren't near them. I didn't like that. With all the information that we have seen, and again, we have no Nintendo Direct, so it's really leaning towards the Switch's life cycle. It's ending, it's done. I don't see how they're going to continue the console, because normally we have, I mean, Nintendo is known for doing stuff like this. However, they usually give a little bit of heads up, at least games that are coming soon. They don't give release dates, but they give us coming soon, kind of like Metroid Prime 4, except they don't announce it that early. They would give us a pretty good idea that it's coming out this year at some point. And we don't have any of that for this second half of the Nintendo Switch. The second half of the Nintendo Switch is very non-existent, and all our cards in play, with all the remasters that we've seen this year, and probably getting more this year, and with Tears of the Kingdom already out, which there's been that rumor going around that Tears of the Kingdom is the last premium Switch game from Nintendo, which again actually makes sense considering we're in the 6th year of the Switch. We don't have a 3D Mario game announced. That seems like that's coming out on the next Nintendo console. It makes sense that the Switch is ending. Me personally, I don't want the Switch to end, but at the same time I do want to see some of these games, specifically Nintendo, run a little bit better like they used to when the Nintendo Switch first came out. But as the years go by, these games, they're crazy. They're crazy. They take a lot of power. And I do think it's time for another Nintendo console. I know a lot of people are thinking Switch Pro. There was rumors like that coming out this year. I felt like the Switch Lite OLED was going to be happening this year. Apparently from Jeff Grubb and multiple other leakers, there's another Nintendo console of some form coming out. I think they said later this year, and we'll hear about it later this year too. Don't think it's a actual Nintendo console. It's going to be something like Lite OLED or the Nintendo Switch 3.0 version or something like that. Now, I want this to be a debate video. What do you guys think's happening with the Switch? I want to know what you think game-wise, what's happening with it. Are we seeing more original games still happen, or is it going to be a bunch of remasters with a few, like very few original titles coming out up until the Switch's life cycle is done? For me, I'm thinking remasters with like every 4 to 5 months there'll be like one original, because one thing I've noticed with the Switch, they definitely tried to get a game out, at least from Nintendo side, they try to get a game out every month, every year with the Switch, which I think is pretty awesome, especially considering how PlayStation and Xbox have struggled with this year's, not this year's console, but this generation's console. So again, I want to know in the comments what you guys think are happening with the Switch. Is it ending? When do you think the next Nintendo console is coming out? I'm thinking next year. I guess there's a possibility at the end of the year. I don't see Nintendo doing that. I don't think Nintendo is a fan of releasing their systems in the holiday market. And the only reason why I'm saying that is the Switch could have came out in the Christmas season of 2016, but it didn't. And I think having it in that early year cycle is better for them. That's just what I'm thinking. I might be an idiot when I say that, but I think Nintendo going forward with their consoles, they're going to want to release it in that March to April time frame. But who knows? Who knows? I'm thinking that's what's going to happen for the next Nintendo console. I have been talking for way too much. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, become a MONADO Marine for $5 a month. Check out our Discord server, check out the Twitter, check out the Instagram, check out the Twitch, check out the Reddit, check out everything that's in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace! That was too dramatic.